Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA. Dawson here, back on our video here today, and we are talking about week 13 games. Very excited, very good week of football. I mean, this was like some of the best games, most fun games, and just some things to talk about. I think there's good implications for the future in these videos, or in these games, that you'll hear in this video. So I'm very excited to see, as we kind of are narrowing down the playoff potential for both the AFC and NFC, we're really just starting to see which teams are really just going ahead and packing up for next season and who's going to be the contenders for this year. So I'm very excited to get into that, and we'll start off with the Bears at the Lions. Lions full control of this game very first half. Chicago Bears came back. Caleb Williams started to look like he was getting on a good comeback train, ripping some good balls. Keenan Allen, very good target for him today. DJ Moore with the yardage as well. Caleb Williams, one of his better games once again. He's showing good flashes and so much better in the first few weeks. So really happy to see Caleb Williams actually succeeding here. DeAndre Swift is just fine on the ground. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen being the two main targets here. Rome Odunze did have some missed opportunities, mostly that deep ball guy, so he didn't really get all the opportunities in the world. Defensively, again, the Bears have been faltering the last couple weeks for the defensively, but they are still a great defense, especially against a Lions team in division at Detroit. It's a really tough game. They kept it close. They almost came back, and that was a really good story. Meanwhile, let's talk about Lions. So this is the first game I think I've seen from them that they really didn't try to drive home the point that they're winning the game. I think the Lions are starting to play a very smart game of football where they understand it's a methodical game where they get ahead and they hold the lead rather than trying to outscore. Now, there's pros and cons to that. The pros of it is that you're playing a lot smarter ball, so you're running out the clock a lot better, keeping it low scoring. You're just getting advantage of the game and taking control of it rather than risking a lot of things for higher scoring games. But the higher scoring games do tend to lean, you're definitely winning this game. But they also increase injuries. So it's good to see that they're implementing it. Obviously, it does suck. Oh, sorry, that was like a hair in my mouth. It does suck that they almost lost this game. The Bears messed up in the very end, and the Lions got out scot-free. Not to say the Lions played bad. I just think they played too cautiously this time. So now they got to find that middle ground of playing really cautiously, but also winning the games. So very interesting to see from the Lions here. Defensively, you're starting to see a little bit of weakness on them. So like again, when they needed to come in clutch near the second half, they just weren't as consistent. It's just that's going to be a prone to is that the Lions have decreased their overall consistency because of their injuries. Still great defense. Seems like they still got a great defensive mind scheme, but is a thing to keep in the mind for the future. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Knuckles and Sonic, basically really, really good. Amon-Ra, good target. Sam Laporta found the end zone both times, though. Defensively, like I said, defensive line, again, they're making plays. They're still making good plays. They just got to hold it. They got to be more consistent, and that's what they got to find. So, good win from the Lions, though. Very solid. They're going to make a good run. Giants, Cowboys, this was a battle. Division rivals, good game. Cowboys they're starting to look good on offense again. Honestly, it feels weird seeing Cooper Rush do better than Dak Prescott, and I don't know why necessarily, but it was weird. Drew Lock not really any better than any of the previous Giants quarterbacks. Really nothing new from them except Tyrone Tracy didn't fumble. Receivers again, Malik Neighbors the main guy there. Everybody else is kind of an afterthought. Defensively, Giants again just keep on going downhill. They got a decent defensive line, but nothing outside of that. Cooper Rush again, good game. He's doing well. Rico Dowdle had a big game. He's pretty much the guy there, so he utilized that pretty damn well. Defensively, Cowboys are starting to look a little bit about their past selves, but division game against a bad team. So it's really hard to judge the Cowboys' success here, so I'll be curious in the next coming weeks how well the Cowboys actually hold up to other teams. Meanwhile, the Giants, they just suck. Dolphins, Packers. So Dolphins, they needed this win to stay in the playoff hunt really well. They still put up a heck of a game. Couldn't really make all those plays, though, to really finalize the game script. The Packers are just a better team. Overall, top to bottom, they had a good offense. They played good defense. And Dolphins were always playing catch-up, and they're good at playing catch-up. But unfortunately, Mustard came into play here today. No, I'm just kidding. And they really weren't able to establish a run game. The Packers defense really was crushing them and then immediately got them off to a point deficit. So the Dolphins were constantly trying to utilize their pass game, which they did well in. Tyreek Hill made some good plays. Achane, good gosh, why is there so much hair in my mouth? Look at that. Ugh. Jonnu Smith, very, very good tight end. He has been a godsend for this team. And 113 yards, nothing to sneeze at. Jalen Waddle, decent game. across the board, this offense played very, very well. Defensively, Dolphins, again, they're hit or miss. They sometimes have good games, sometimes have bad. Not their game. Jordan Love, top to bottom, Packers played well. Josh Jacobs, while he got volume, didn't get really the average yardage. Jordan Love, very good, very efficient. Tucker Kraft, main target here today. And then the defense from Packers played out of their mind. So very, very good team from the Packers. I mean, top to bottom, Packers are a top 5 team, 100%. They are playing out of their mind, playing very, very well. Raiders, Chiefs. Big story here is that the Chiefs got away with another win. Black Magic, Aiden O'Connell, all this sack into a fumble. Whatever. This was a Raiders mess up too. As much as I would love for this to be like a big conspiracy on the Chiefs winning, they've won 3 or 4 games based on something stupid like this happening, and it's because they have a damn good coach. They know how to utilize situations, and unfortunately, sometimes the teams they play, just high pressure situations get to them. Simple to the point. It happened to the Broncos, happened to the Raiders now. I would love to see. I mean, Chiefs honestly should be like 8-4, maybe 9-3, but unfortunately can't get everything you love. So Aiden O'Connell, though, very, very good game. One of his best games of his career, really, against the Chiefs defense, who was pressuring him a lot, but they kept on him. Running game, Amir Abdullah was expected to be the main running back here, but it was really Sincere McCormick came out of nowhere, played very, very well. They were busting through that defensive line pretty damn well. Brock Bowers, like a top 5 receiver in the general this year. He's like the main guy there in Las Vegas. I'll be very curious to see what the strategy is for Las Vegas in the draft. But he is such a vital piece for this team going forward and is going to be a cornerstone of this team. Defensively, Raiders actually played pretty well too. I mean, the Raiders have a good defense in general, but they played decently well. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes is just Patrick Mahomes. He came back and actually had a game that he was normally supposed to be having last year. He had a good, just very good plays, efficiently getting down the field. And while he never really finished many drives because the defense from the Raiders was really good, he still got the end zone once. I think with Travis Kelce, or was that Noah Gray? Oh no, it was Justin Watson. My bad. Hopkins. A lot of yardage. Travis Kelce, a lot of volume across the board. Isaiah Pacheco came back, split carries with Kareem Hunt. Pacheco was just so explosive. He looked so much better than Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was still okay in some instances, and I think he'll still get a little bit of a role, but Pacheco is going to be the main guy there, and over the next 2 weeks, he'll be phased back in completely for the playoffs. Defensively, weak game from the Chiefs, but not like an awful game, so we'll see them come back in the future. Texans, Jags, divisional slobber knocker here. Texans, I think I've been sharing the sentiment because I've seen the comments about like Texans not looking as good. The Texans look fine. It's like they don't look like a top 10 team, but they win, they get results, and most of the games that are really close they don't look good in are division games, so they're hard to judge because division games are just different in general. And I think it's what people really have a hard time explaining is that they look at the game like this with the Houston Texans and Jags, look at the stats, look at the game score, and are just like, wow, the Texans suck. They almost lost to the Jags, who are 2-9. Meanwhile, everybody forgets that these are all NFL teams who are all damn good in their own aspect. Even the Panthers, the Jags, Giants, all of them are good. They're professional football players. They are going to get results. And division opponents know how to scheme against the other team. They know their coach better. They know the players better. They know the team scheme better. It's just overall a lot harder to play against division opponents, even if they are considered a weaker team. In Jags especially, I think in Jacksonville was it's just a hard matchup for CJ Stroud. And he played well. Joe Mixon played well. The defense played well. It's just Jags were starting to come back on all fronts a little bit. Trevor Lawrence, before his injury, played well. And of course, that was the whole story of Azeez Al-Jabari hitting Trevor Lawrence. Fortunately, just one of those things where I don't think it was anything intentional. It looked like it was just an unfortunate hit, nothing dirty. It just was Trevor didn't slide early enough, and Azeez just didn't rear back and probably as he should have. So it was a fault on both ends. So best wishes to Trevor Lawrence, of course. But very good game from the Texans. They got the win. And again, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, mostly Mac Jones, I guess, played well. Run game wasn't really getting established, so that's unfortunate. But receiving wise, Parker Washington became the guy this game. Defensively, Jags played all right. They were able to quell C.J. Stroud in the run game a little bit near the second half. Were able to kind of get a comeback of some sort, but just didn't pan out that way. Texans got the win, and I think the Texans are just fine. So stop overreacting and move on. Boom, bada bing, Colts and Patriots. I was really banking on the Patriots to win here. Of course, Colts losing here would have been really good for the Broncos' playoff chances, but the Colts stay alive in the playoff race. Patriots did keep this close, though. This was another good game, mostly from the defensive fronts and mostly on the Patriots side. I think the Colts really got bailed out by a couple misplays on the Patriots as well as defensive play from the Colts. Anthony Richardson, not good. Not good at all. He is not a good quarterback. That is what the end result is going to be, is that he's a good scrambler. He's a good athlete. He can't throw the ball. He just purely can't. The balls he throws are really easy deep balls or are just really easy short throws. He cannot read any defenses. He just can't do anything. It's really, really tough to watch him play now, knowing this type of thing, because he's so easy to scheme around. Anyway, Jonathan Taylor, very good. Obviously better in the past, but I think he's one of the better aspects of this offense. Michael Pittman just doesn't look the same, but granted, nobody looks the same with Anthony Richardson right now. And defensively, like I said, the Colts made some big plays here and were able to kind of get some stops here. Special teams also kept the Colts in this game. They went for 2 at the end. They got it. Very few things went right for them this game, but some things did. Drake May, again, if you're the Patriots, you got to be excited. Drake May looks great. His weapon, even with what he's dealing with, he looks great. Ramondre has been efficient. I just think this team in general has been very, very solid. Hunter Henry, good. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. I shouldn't even discount Austin Hooper. Very good safety nets for Drake May to get those yardage and to play the defenses. And I think this is a Patriots team that's going to be special here in the next couple of years if Drake May can keep on going and the coaching staff just gets better. I think this is a team that doesn't necessarily need the most star-studded players. I think it just needs a good core, and I think they're starting to build that. Defensively, Patriots played well, not well enough, but well. But unfortunately, Colts take the win. Chargers Falcons, another weird game, and I think this is another thing where people are getting hype about the Chargers being 8-4. 100%. I'll be the first one to say I love the Chargers. I think they've been playing well. Coaching has been very good, but they fall into the same scheme of they just have not played as well as people think. The run game has been very one-dimensional. Very early on as J.K. Dobbins, and then very quickly people figured it out. Justin Herbert has played well, made good plays, mostly with Ladd McConkey. Quentin Johnston was mostly deep ball. Everything else just kind of fell into place. Will Dissly's been a recent kind of emerger, but very still one-dimensional. Defensively, Chargers played outstandingly. That's probably the reason they are 8-4. This is not a true 8-4 team. If you were to tell me you swapped the Chargers and the Bengals record, I'd believe you. That is kind of where I'm at with the Chargers. Is I think they are almost one of the more fraudulent 8-4 teams at this point, or at least fraudulent winning teams at this point. Not because I think they're bad. I just think that they're very strangely overhyped because their record's 8-4. And I think there's a lot of games that could have panned out 6-6, 5-7. I think they go in a lot of different ways. And they have an easier schedule this year. That is a fact. And they have some easier schedules going forward. So I think they're going to have a very good chance for the playoffs. And I think they can play well in the playoffs. With the coaching staff they have, they can easily succeed through a game or two. But I don't think they're as hyped as an 8-4 team as people should, because they've had close games against not great teams, as well as just not great plays. They've had good games, really good games, but just not as good games against bad teams. As you see right here against the Falcons, who's a decent team, they just didn't get anything rolling at all on offense. It was all defensively that they really came in. Ladd McConkey was literally the offense. Defensively, very, very good. 4 picks is going to win you the game. It was not Justin Herbert wasn't the offense. It was because Kirk Cousins is not very good. Bijan was the only bright spot for the Falcons as well across the board. I think Kirk Cousins will have better days, but it's very unfortunate to see. Defensively from the Falcons, they did very, very well. They got to Justin Herbert. They sacked him a lot. They prevented the run game from getting anywhere. Falcons played very, very well, but Kirk Cousins made all the mistakes. And 4 picks, the fact you were only behind 4 points and you threw 4 picks, you should have won this game. You should have won this game. Both these teams should have won this game because both these teams play like shit. That's quite frankly to the point. Seahawks Jets. Jets, you're miserable. I gotta stop getting on the Jets train that like they're gonna win eventually. They're not gonna win. The Seahawks just randomly are good sometimes. They throw up balls. They get a good run game established, but the Jets just freaking suck. At the very beginning, they gave me hope. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're actually ahead, and then just Geno just kills them. Geno kills him. 206 for 1, and it wasn't, like I said, they didn't kill him like that. They just killed him, period. JSN, big story here. DK, very, very good. Tyler Lockett's pretty much phased into the wide receiver 3 role at this point. Defensively, Seahawks played very, very well. Again, keeping Aaron Rodgers quelled after the first quarter, basically. And Aaron Rodgers, just after the first quarter, just stopped playing quarterback. Breece Hall stopped playing running back. Everybody just stopped playing football after the first quarter, apparently, for the Jets, and it just went downhill from there. Simple to the point, Jets suck. Seahawks, I don't know how you're going to make a playoff run, but you're making it, I guess, so good for you. Titans Commanders. This was just a blowout. This is a very unfortunate for our football chat. Everybody was like, "Yep, well, Titans #1 pick," and then I shared with them that they're not the worst team in the NFL right now. They are like the 6th overall pick right now. So hopefully they get the first overall pick, but man, I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that bad. Will Levis showing some hope, but I think that's almost good news, or sorry, bad news, because I don't think Levis is the future, and I don't think you want to be relying on Levis for the future. So, Titans fans, you let me know. Sound off in the comments. Tony Pollard didn't really get to be anything this game because Commanders literally were up 21-0 by like the start of the second quarter or whatever. Was it? Yeah, it really was. Nick Westbrook was the main target there. Calvin Ridley really couldn't make any plays. Defensively, Titans were just nothing. They just got nothing. Commanders, after basically the first half, were just playing, pee-wee football. Jaden Daniels was still out there the whole time. They brought in Chris Rodriguez, though, for some very efficient running. It's bad when your backup running back, your third-string running back on this team, is getting 7.2 average yards on carry. Now, granted, the Titans didn't care at this point, but Commanders, they look good. They beat another bad team. We'll see. I think this is a very fortunate year because they had a very easy schedule. I think this is what bad teams are supposed to be doing, is that when you're rebuilding, you have an easy schedule. You're meant to be doing this stuff so you can rebuild your confidence, rebuild your team, as well as still performing well. And then also kind of wetting your tongue a little bit with some of the playoff teams that you're going to be facing. This is exactly what the NFL schedule is supposed to be doing. Bad teams who are developing are supposed to get these easier schedules so you can see them do well. I know they played such easy teams, but they've been playing well. They've been getting wins. It's exactly what the Commanders are supposed to be doing. Do not fault the Commanders for playing bad teams. They've been doing everything they need to. Have they won any games against good teams? Not necessarily, but maybe they shouldn't have to. They're still developing. They're still getting their mistakes out of the way, and I think they show that they can have that upset potential. But I digress. Terry McLaurin, still main target, still awesome receiver for Jaden Daniels. Defensively, Commanders, good in this game, but they've been a little bit weaker the last couple weeks. If they can hold up, maybe they can make a good playoff run, but we'll see. We have a few more games going, so I gotta rush through this. I'm already 19 minutes in. Steelers, Bengals, offensive showdown. Pittsburgh Steelers, best Russell. I think this is the best Russell Wilson game, period. It's just a joke at this point. The Bengals can put up 27 or more points. I think they've lost all of them this season, and that's insane. Good gosh, freaking more hair. And that's just insane. The Steelers played well. I'm not going to talk about anything there. Defensively, they were a little bit weaker, but that's mostly because their secondary got torched, not really because they couldn't get to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're doing everything they can. Chase Brown, they're doing everything they can. T. Higgins was a big factor. All of them are playing great, and then you just get to defense, and it's like they don't make any plays, and they just don't win them any games. It's just very unfortunate. It's either Evan McPherson, the defense, or whatever. Cardinals, Vikings. I forget, man, the Vikings are 10-2. That's kind of crazy. Here's what I'll say. Both these teams are very contentious for me. Cardinals, they're boom or bust. Simple to the point, which is good because I think they have a lot of building blocks for the future. But they're just not the team for this year. Vikings, a little overrated. They're not playing the best football they've had, but they are doing very, very well. They are perfectly good contenders. Their defense is playing well. Their offense is having up and down points. And I think that's a good sign. I think the Vikings are playing very, very good ball, and I think it's a good sign for the coaching future as well. This game was just fine. They both had, I think this is a perfect definition of the Cardinals sometimes good, sometimes bad, and the Vikings are just consistently good on defense and mediocre on offense. That's the definition. Kyler Murray's stat line kind of shows the case here. James Conner was fine. Trey McBride was the main target. Without MHJ getting really involved or more involved, the Cardinals are going to be somewhat capped for the moment. Cardinals defense did play out of their mind. I will give them credit here. They did get Sam Darnold quite a bit this game, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Sam Darnold, like I said, played well, made some mistakes, and the run game wasn't there. So mostly had to rely on their defense. Justin Jefferson, of course, is Justin Jefferson, so he did good. Defensively, stats don't show it, but they played very well, putting a lot of pressure on Kyler, had to make some plays, and made him throw quite a bit. 45 throws, we'll do that to you. So the Vikings really won through a war of attrition. Cardinals almost came back into the end, but they just really couldn't get the job done. Boom, bada, bing, moving forward. Rams and Saints. Very just good, gritty game. I don't really know what to say. It was really just a gritty game for both these teams. Mostly run heavy, if I remember. Yeah, mostly run heavy. Matthew Stafford made some good plays, but again, Kyron Williams was the story. Blake Corum came in for a drive, very efficient. Tapuka made some big plays. Defensively, the Rams were fine. I mean, again, this was like a defensive line game, not really secondary play, so I can't really speak much on the secondary. But both running backs did very, very well. Saints just really couldn't convert. Really what the difference maker was, both running backs groups did well, but Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, I think, were the tiebreaker there. Unfortunately, Derek Carr's just not very good. Taysom Hill was the most efficient one. MVS found the end zone for the Saints. Otherwise, defensively, again, both these teams were pretty silent. Neither one of the quarterbacks were pressured too much, but it's because they really didn't feel the need to. They threw the ball a little bit, but it was really just quarterback mistakes at that point. Rams went out. They can make the playoffs, so we'll see. Bucks and Panthers. How do I say this about the Bucks and Panthers here? Both exciting. I think both fan bases should be very excited for this. The fact that the Bucks are still 6-6. They are now near the top of the division. They could easily make the playoffs. I think they look damn good. I think people underrate how good the Bucks are looking right now. They've looked good for the last few weeks without their main weapons. Their defense and offensive line have been playing out of their mind to keep them in the games. Baker has been doing very, very well with the weapons he's had. Now that Mike Evans is back, they're starting to put up numbers again. Carolina, very, very good. Their offense is singing now. Their defense is the only thing at this point. If they are like the Cardinals from last year to me, the Panthers can do a lot of great stuff if they can just fill out some talent on that defense, and they can be doing something special here. It was all overtime. Bucks sealed it in. Baker, very good game. Bucky Irving, holy crap, just took over. Mike Evans, extremely good game defensively. Bucks didn't put up the stats, but they played well. Panthers, Bryce Young, again, is now playing well again. I love seeing Bryce Young actually doing well. Very, very good talent. Chuba, not really his game today, but that's okay. Jonathan Brooks is getting some reps, though. Adam Thielen, main target here today. He is back in the number one role. Everyone else is kind of following suit. Xavier Legette's getting more and more involved. Panthers defense did play all right to this game. They could have been looking better, but I think Panthers played well. Very, very good game for both these teams, and I'm excited to see their future. I mean, Saquon's just so good. 107 yards, a touchdown. Derrick Henry versus Saquon, and Saquon came out on top. Just simple to the point. Jalen Hurts, again, didn't need to do anything. Like, he made some good plays to convert first downs and get one touchdown. It was a Saquon game. Saquon game all day, and the offensive line rallied behind him. If you can get 4.7 yards on average on the Ravens, that's damn good. The Eagles were playing from behind a little bit, but they just, with Saquon, they never felt like they were out. The Ravens felt like they were playing catch up to the Eagles the whole game, even though the Ravens were ahead. Very good game across the board. Defense from the Eagles played out of their minds as well. Meanwhile, the Ravens just, are they 7-5, 8-5? This is just, it's insane to see the Ravens be as good as they are and still be as bad as they are. I don't know if that made sense. They're playing some awesome ball, but man, they have dropped some ugly games too. It's just this team's not going to win the Super Bowl. Just the way you're watching them, it's just they haven't been playing playoff type ball yet. That's unfortunate. I mean, because Lamar is, Derrick Henry is, but the rest of the team hasn't. Receivers, mostly Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers found some big plays. Isaiah Likely even had a touchdown. Meanwhile, the defense for the Ravens was carved up this game. It was over from the very beginning. I'm curious to see how the Ravens recoup from this. Bills, 49ers snow game. Bills, of course, newly engaged. Haley Steinfeld. Man, I am so jealous of Haley Steinfeld because freaking Josh Allen is a handsome man. Also jealous of Josh Allen for Haley Steinfeld. Good for them, though. Heck yeah to y'all. He gets a receiving and a passing touchdown because he got pitched back to Cooper, or from Cooper. So very fun snow game. I think this is just a fun. I think I just love snow games because they bring a different dynamic. Granted, this was probably the least fun one between the Browns and the Steelers from earlier. Purdy just didn't have a game. Christian McCaffrey out for the year, it looks like, unfortunately. Jordan Mason also injured now, too. So the run game for this 49ers was just awful. It's hard to really fault. It feels like everything that could go wrong for the 49ers this year went wrong. And I think this was just the final nail in the coffin. It's like, okay, we just got to call it. We got to call the 49ers and just call it how it is. That's just something I got to accept at this point. because no one got any love. Jawan Jennings kind of did, but like 94 passing yards not going to do you anything. 49ers defense looked like it was not even playing. Josh Allen barely needed to do anything because James Cook was leading the way with Ray Davis. Ray Davis also very, very good. Again, receiving wise, don't need to worry about it. Where's this Josh Allen? 0 receptions, 7 yards, 1 touch. That's just fucking funny. Defensively, Bills played well. I mean, don't really need to, and the 49ers lost their game. Like, the Bills defense didn't need to do anything. Probably one of the most fun games of the year by far. This was like such a fun game, and I know I'm a Broncos fan, so like I'm biased watching this game. Jameis Winston was fun. Bo Nix was fun. The run games for both these teams were fun. Jerry Jeudy, as much as I hate him now, because like, come on, don't taunt us, dude. Come on, I get it. He was fun to watch, man. Like I think he led the Browns. He broke the Browns receiving number now, or yard number, whatever. Very, very good game. Jameis Winston, 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 pick sixes from Jameis Winston. But that's an insane stat line. If Jameis Winston, I know I talked about this before, but like Jameis Winston, if he was the quarterback from the very beginning, this 3-9 team could be easily 5-7 at the bare minimum. Gosh, I love Jameis Winston. He's just so much fun. He deserves to be a starting quarterback next year. Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb did split carries here. I think they're starting to realize Nick Chubb is just not the guy. Right, this year. Not the guy this year. Jerome Ford just looked a lot better this game. Nick Chubb just constantly bottled up. Jerome Ford was a dynamic changer. Jerry Jeudy, phenomenal. Made some big long plays. Elijah Moore really cost the team. After a pick six or a pick happened, Elijah Moore gave up on a play. Pick six happened. Game over. Njoku made some very awesome big plays for first downs and touchdowns. He was the main connection for Jameis Winston in this game for the most part. Nick Chubb also had a very good receiving touchdown as well. Defensively, both teams just did not look good, though. This was a very messy defensive game, which made it fun, though. Jaleel McLaughlin was the guy this game. It seems like they're just kind of rotating through of one day it's Audric, one day it's Javonte, next it's Jaleel. It's kind of how it's been for the last few weeks. So Jaleel McLaughlin got his day today. Looked very, very good. Very fun. Bo Nix, 18 for 35. Very not good stat line, I will say that. That's partially his fault, partially due to the offensive line. Offensive line did play pretty poorly this game. So he made some careless mistakes. Definitely looked like a rookie this game. And he looked like the most rookie, most professional game of his career. Like his 50% rookie, 50% professional. Because the defense won them this game. 100% defense won the Broncos this game. Bo Nix played well, went out there and showcased his talent. Marvin Mims, very big story, very good player. Cortland Sutton, of course, as normal, doing very, very well. Defensively, Broncos, like I said, very good on the secondary, but otherwise, that is the only aspect of this defense that did well. Browns defense across the board didn't do well either. Hope y'all did enjoy. Just realized I've been rambling for like 26 minutes now. But I hope y'all did enjoy. I'll be out in San Diego for the whole week, so I'm trying to get some recordings done. So I'm recording these a little bit later, so I'm trying to, not talk too loud. All right. I hope y'all do enjoy. I'll see y'all on the next one.